Coming up on Guys Talking Sports, we talk about the NFC East and how bad that division is. And also we talk about the winner of that division making it to the playoffs and how that affects the playoffs as a whole. We're also going to talk about the 76ers, the Philadelphia 76ers, and that the NBA has hired a special consultant in Jerry Colangelo. How is that going to affect the 76ers and their fans? My guest host, Adrian Catwell, joins me right now on Guys Talking Sports. Everybody out there, this is Guys Talking Sports. I am your host, Al Qualls. Welcome to another edition of Guys Talking Sports. Thanks to everybody that's subscribed on YouTube. I really do appreciate it. We're going to get right into it. You know, my guest host today is Adrian Catwell. So let's get started. Ace, man, how you doing?
I'm good, man. How about yourself?
I'm doing well for Tuesday. So yeah. I can honestly say, before we continue, I do want to say right now to everybody out there, I'm also periscoping this live, so I'm gonna try something new. So without further ado, let's get into it. Let's talk about what's going on with the NFL. And Ace, I want to bring this point up to you because I have a quick question in regards to this. I was driving into work this morning, and basically I was listening to ESPN, of course, Mike and Mike in the morning, and there was a conversation in regards to the NFC East. For all those that know, the NFC East in the NFL right now, all teams has a losing record. I believe the record right now they're battling is 5-7. A couple of teams has that same record, with Dallas, I believe, being 4-8.
Right.
And right now, as it currently stands, those three teams right now are fighting for the division title. 9 times out of 10, I'm not banking on them, the winner of that division, to have a winning record. So let me first, Ace, let me ask your thoughts about the NFC East.
Wow, where does one begin? Let's see. The Giants have underachieved. If they lost 4 games already this season on the last drive of the game, or gave up leads with under 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter and lost 4 games, they have the inability to close it out. Philly, you just don't know what you get with Philly. One day they look kind of dominant, and then next time their defense looks like they didn't come to play. I mean, I think the last 2 games prior to the Patriots game, they were outscored 90 to 20. And then, of course, against the Patriots, I mean, who would have imagined that Philly was going to beat the Patriots? Now, mind you, offensively, the Philly didn't do anything. You have to really give credit to their special teams and their defense for generating a good ton of points, at least 14 points for Philly. But a win is a win. And then, of course, you have the Washington Redskins, and then you have the Dallas Cowboys. And good old Jerry. You know, everybody loves Jerry and Jerry's World and everything that he's doing down in Dallas. And he looks like the smartest man in the face of the earth not putting Romo on IR, because he still believed that the Cowboys have a shot to make the playoffs. And lo and behold, I stayed up to watch that game last night, and for 58 minutes, it was a straight snooze fest. And then all of a sudden, the last 2 minutes of the game, you get, I don't know, some touchdowns, a couple field goals. It was just a wild and crazy ending to the game. But needless to say, you know, the NFC East was the Redskins to lose. And now it's pretty much throw a ring in a hat, and wherever the ring lands, that's pretty much who's going to win the NFC East. I mean, that's just how horrible and terrible that division is right now. It's just words just can't describe it. You know, everybody, you know, it's always the mighty NFC East. And Far from mighty, that's for sure.
No, I agree with that. At this point, I don't even know where to begin in this regards. The NFC East, I knew it was going to be competitive with a couple of teams, but to be honest, I didn't know it was going to be where it is right now. And to be honest, it's unfortunate that we're, it's understandable, I guess, what you think about it. Like with the loss to Tony Romo, of course, a lot of people was picking Dallas to be right back there with a stronger, better record. But then, injuries, of course, took its toll. You could argue with the Giants of how many close games they could have went their way. Their record probably would have changed as well. The Eagles and the Redskins, we really didn't know where they would be, but at the end of the day, the record is what it is, and it's understandable. Like I said, because of situations, the situations do change, but it is at this point. This is a bad division at this point. There's really nothing else you can say at this point. No one is capitalizing from others' misfortunes and taking over this division. And it's so funny because it's so round robin. A couple of weeks ago, or maybe about a month ago, you could say that the Giants were looking like they're going to be the clear-cut favorites. When originally it started off to be Dallas to be the preseason favorites. Mm-hmm. Then all of a sudden, the Washington Redskins started gaining steam, and everybody was saying about the Redskins. And now with the Eagles winning, against New England Patriots, now everybody's jumping on their bandwagon. So it's really a round robin. And of course, everybody thought that Romo would be back in time for Dallas to gain steam. And unfortunately, that didn't turn out to be the way that they wanted it to be. But all in all, they still won their game. So it's a battle. In NFC East, but I just really hope that the records were better than what it's showing right now.
Well, I know for a fact that if I wish I could sit there and have an idea who's going to win the division. I mean I'm sorry, yes, the division, NFC East. On paper right now, you would think the Giants, even though their defense kind of is not doing very well, that they would have the edge just because they have a healthy Eli. You got Odell. You got a pretty decent. No, they really don't have a run game. I mean, the O-line is real banged up right now. I mean, really, truly, and honestly, the most healthy team in the NFC East is the Redskins, but the Redskins just don't know how to win right now. I mean, they can't win back-to-back games. They don't know how to win the big games. They haven't won a game on the road. And then you have the Cowboys, who, though they lost 7 straight games prior to beating Redskins last night, they were in practically every game that they played. If they had somewhat of a halfway decent quarterback. Now, mind you, the games where Brandon Whedon was quarterback, it wasn't that Whedon didn't have the lead going into late in the fourth quarter. It's just the defense gave up the games. So couldn't blame the offense, but the offense has just been sputtering. I mean, they were lucky to come out with that game last night. I mean, you got Deshaun Jackson, who went from GOAT to hero to disappointed all within like a 10-minute span. I mean, just from fumbling the punt to then scoring the game time touchdown, and then of course the Cowboys coming and winning the game. I mean, on paper, the Redskins should by far be running away with this because I mean the rest of the conference is just handing the keys over to them, but they don't seem to want it. So if I had to guess right now who it would come down to, I would have to say between Philly and New York to win it, just because the Redskins don't. Being down here in the DC area, they're talking about it's a winnable game going to Chicago. Yeah, Chicago's not that great. But hell, the Redskins ain't won a game on the road. who's to say this because they're playing Chicago, they're supposed to win the game? You know? I mean, yes, the 49ers beat Chicago, but the 49ers haven't been playing half bad recently. The Redskins are just the Redskins. They don't know what to do with themselves. They have it. It's right there, gifted for them, but they don't know what to do with it.
And it's funny because as much as you're saying it, and I because I know you live down there in the Baltimore DC area, but it's funny as much what you're saying right now about the Redskins is what people up here are saying about New York. And to be honest, really nobody's giving. I don't see Philadelphia coming back. I really don't. So I kind of eliminated them. I have to be honest, I'm picking it between the Redskins and the Giants, but I do not have faith in the Giants, especially after the game they just lost to with the Jets. I just don't. It has nothing really to do with the closeness of games, as much as you're saying about the confidence the Redskins have. I don't have that confidence in the coach. And as much as and I say this time and time again, I give respect where respect due. Tom Coughlin, sometimes when he gets, in a hot seat, so to speak, his team starts playing better. But at this point, it's because of Coughlin and the management that the Giants, the clock management. It's not really about the X's and the O's. It's more about the clock management. This team is just not doing what they're supposed to be doing. Like, I saw that whole majority of the end of the Jets-Giants game, and I was just sitting there like dumbfounded of the amount of selection that they was going, that was going on, like the amount of plays, the selection of plays. It made me wonder sometimes about, if what could have happened if this would have happened if it went another way. But it's basically out of the management, the clock management. To be honest, I really believe that the Redskins, even though that they lost this game, I still believe they have the edge. They have the confidence right now. I'm iffy about the the Giants defense. Right now, I just don't see that. Right now, I'm more confident that Washington can win their home games more than the Giants can win the rest of their games to make it to win the division. That's where I see it right now. Washington right now has a better home record, and some of the games is at home, so I could see them winning those games. Like you said, they just got to get out of that. They at least need a road win or two. Once they get out of that slump, then I think they have a better chance of getting the division, more so than the Giants. The Giants right now, I don't think they have the management skills necessary to close out and win the division at this point.
The Redskins got Chicago Sunday, and then they follow up with the Bills. I'm 50-50.
Are they going to Buffalo, or are Buffalo coming to you guys?
I'm not 100% sure.
Okay.
Not 100% sure, but either way, home or away, I don't predict the Redskins beating Buffalo. Buffalo is not that bad. They got some great pieces. Their defense is excellent. And Tyrod Taylor is playing like a true quarterback. He got the legs, he got the arm, he got weapons, he got LaShawn McCoy. I mean, he's doing some pretty decent things out there. And I'm not saying that the Bills are going to make the playoffs, because I don't think they are. I haven't followed I don't know their record off the top of my head, but I don't. In my gut check, I can't say. I say it's 55-45 chance Redskins beat Chicago. I'm saying 70-30 that Buffalo beats the Redskins, and then the Redskins follow up the last two games between Philly and Dallas. I think the Redskins will beat Dallas on the flip side, I think. But I really think the Eagles are going to take it to the Redskins. It's in my gut. I just don't think. I think that I think the Redskins will split these last two games. They'll finish out 7-9, I think whoever wins the division is going to go 8-8.
Huh. I'm wondering. I'm more interested to see what happens if they all go 7-9.
Oh, it's impossible. It's not impossible, but I guess it'd be head to head. Everybody would have had to split with everybody, and God, that would be just god awful. I would think none of them would make the playoffs. It's like this, nobody thinks.
No, I definitely agree with that. So let me bring up the question that I had for you. So let's say, for example, that whoever wins the division with a 7-9 record, the talk is that whoever wins the division, with the record, they get to host the I guess the wild card playoff.
Oh, the first round.
First round, yes. Now, here's the deal about this. Let's say, for example, whoever wins, Redskins, Giants, Eagles, they win the division with a 7-9 record. They get to host one of the wild cards who has a better record than them. So my question to you is that should it matter because of the division winner? Should they really host the first round playoffs with a losing record if the wild card team has a better record than they do?
Well, I mean, I think the last time this happened, it was Seattle back in 2010. I believe, right. But Matt Hasselbeck, they went 7-9 and they ended up beating New Orleans in the first round. So it's unfair. I mean, yes, the team with a better record, it's truly unfair. I mean, it's unfair in fantasy football, where my fantasy football league, I'm tied for best record in the league, but because I'm in the same division as the other guy who has the same record as me, I'm third in the playoffs because division winners get 1-2. I mean, it sucks, but yet, the dude that's in second has an 8-5 record. I'm 9-4, but yet I'm third in the playoffs. So, I mean, is it cool? Is it fair? No, but I mean, that's just the way they have it seated. And can whoever the NFC East plays in that very first round, can they end up beating a team? Sure, but then you have to turn around and face Carolina, or you have to turn around and face who else is leading the division? The NFC. Arizona. Man, look, it don't matter. They could win their first game, sure, fine. Sure, they're not gonna win the second round, so it doesn't really matter. No, Carolina already destroyed Washington. Carolina's just running through the league. I mean, right now, it's Carolina's to lose in the NFC East. I mean, the NFC. I'm not going to sit there and say they're going to win the Super Bowl. I like to see if they can at least make it through the NFC playoff race before I start crowning them as Super Bowl champs. But it don't matter. The NFC East is just garbage. I mean, it's almost kind of how the NFC West was.
Yes.
Around the time when Seattle won it at 7-9. I mean, it was just a laughing stock of the league. It was just like, and then all of a sudden the NFC West became a dominant league, dominant division. And the NFC East was still dominant, but it was the AFC South that was garbage. It's always one division that's just purely comical. And this be the year that is the NFC East turn.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. No, but I just found it. I don't know. I guess because I get both sides, but I guess I'm starting to lead towards more of the person with the better record should be hosting. Should be hosting the playoff, whatever round they're in. Whoever has the better record should be hosting it. I just feel as though that's something that they earn as far as the record is overall, just because they're. Let's take, for example, like Seattle. If Arizona wins the title, which it looks like it is, and Seattle has like a 10-win season. I'm just saying hypothetically because I know they don't have a 10-win coming up, but if they have a 10-win season and then they have to go against the Washington Redskins, who are, like I said, 5-7, just because Seattle is on the same division as Arizona, you know what I'm saying? Like now they get to be the road team for a losing team. So basically, that's my I feel as though that's kind of like being treated unfair. Basically for that reason alone, like I if it was like a best of 7 series or a best of 5 series, you know, that would mean that the losing team would probably be hosting 3 out of the 5 events.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, judging it from that standpoint, I believe as though, like, I'm starting to see that I believe the better record should be hosting the division, the playoffs. When it comes to the playoffs, I kind of understand both sides, because why change something if it ain't broke, don't fix. I can understand that mentality, but I just feel as though that there are going to be talks now, if that happens, where a team with a way better record has to travel on the road to a losing team, you know, just because they're a division winner. So
I agree with you. I guess that's what Adam Silver is trying to eliminate in the NBA.
Yes. No, and to be honest, and I know it's difference between the NFL and, you know, there's differences between the NFL and the NBA, but definitely in the NBA, that was, you know, that should be more, you know, that should be more important than anything. If they're going by the conference, that's like NFL. I could probably understand because it's just a one game playoff system.
Mm-hmm.
But with the NBA, the best, you could definitely see the differences, you know, as far as the NBA. Like, people will actually say, look, why is this losing team hosting when it should be the winning team? And there's going to be more complaints about it. And I could get why Adam Silver is doing it from his standpoint on that end. But from the NFL, you know, I could understand both sides more in the NFL than the NBA.
Oh yeah, I agree. But I just don't see how, you know, there's just no real way around how that's going to work in the NFL, just because, you know, yeah, is it messed up that, you know, the Redskins might win the NFCs with a 7-9 record? Yeah. But is it their fault that the 3 other teams in the division are just as bad or worse than they are that didn't make the playoffs? Should they be penalized because, you know, they did what they had to do to win their division? It's a double-edged sword, I guess, in that scenario.
Yeah, no, and that's why I said I guess I'm more understandable to that from the NFL level than I would be like on any other sport. So it's interesting to discuss and debate about.
Right.
But I thought when I heard it, I was just like, wait, when I heard it on ESPN, I was just like, oh, okay, that's kind of different. But I kind of agree with both sides, both angles of it. So real quick, let's jump into unless there's something else you want to talk from the NFL level.
No, the NFC East is this
garbage. In a nutshell.
Right.
So let me ask you this quick question: do you think now Cam Newton is now the favorite to win the MVP?
If it were being chosen tomorrow, yes. I think Cam is putting up a great season. Almost has 3,000 yards for the season. I think he's just 200 yards short of 3,000 yards. Considering that he doesn't have a true legitimate number 1 receiver. Hell, I don't even think he has a legitimate number 2 receiver. Like Jericho Cotchery. Gosh, I mean, how long has he been in the league? And you know, I give credit to the Carolina and the organization and the wide receivers, you know, doing what they've been doing to keep things moving. Definitely, their tight end is just putting in work, you know. But teams, I guess, I haven't watched many Carolina games, but I'm sure teams have been focusing on the tight end as his number one target and shutting them down. But the other wide receivers are stepping up and making plays. So gotta give credit where credit is due. I mean, I saw the game-winning drive Cam had against the Saints on Sunday. Dude checked down and did all his reads and was hitting all the right receivers. I mean, Cam is legitimately becoming an elite quarterback.
Yes, I do agree with that. It almost kind of reminds me, and I'm not saying that it is or a no spitting image, but it kind of almost reminds me of how the Patriots offense is run sometimes, with the exception of Cam Newton actually running the football, because his favorite target now is a tight end.
Wow.
Like sort of like Gronkowski, that Olsen is Cam's Gronkowski. The wide receivers is not really known, like you said, so to speak, and they won't be known unless it's a touchdown or Cam starts. They're going to get more recognition because of Cam Newton.
Right.
Similar to how the Patriots wide receivers like Amendola and all them got recognition because of how Tom Brady was, from that aspect. So, but like I said, like you said, right now I would have to give the nod to Cam. Even if they do lose the next game, I would really want to see this close out. But right now he's definitely a heavy favorite to win MVP, and much deservingly so.
Oh, definitely. I don't anticipate Carolina going 16-0. I'm not saying they can't. I don't anticipate it. But if they did, that'd be something special. But then, of course, the ultimate feat would be to make it all the way to 19-0. To win the Super Bowl. And if he did that, Cam will be a legend. I mean, Cam could be like, I don't know. He probably wouldn't have to do anything else the rest of his career, but he led that Carolina team to a 19-0 perfect record, Super Bowl champs. I mean, I still don't know if it's possible, but it'll be a fun ride to see.
I'll put it like this: if Tom Brady did it all the way back, a couple of years back, anything is possible at this point. Not saying that he's on that level of Tom Brady, but right now, I'm just enjoying the ride. So I love to see what happens next. Even if they do lose, I still would love to see what happens next.
I mean, and think about the Patriots that year and the offensive weapons that he had. I mean, hey, Tom Brady had Randy Moss that year. I mean, and to think it took the Giants and the one lucky play for it not for them to go 19-0. But look at what Cam has in comparison to what Brady has. They always say, well, Brady never has top flight receivers. I'm like, he may not have top flight receivers these last couple of years, but he had top flight receivers when he was winning all those Super Bowls. Yes, so if Cam can come through and do what he's doing with
less,
yes, then he deserves all the credit in the world.
Yes, by all means. By all means, he definitely, like I said, he's definitely, like you said, if he does that and does run the table, of course, he'll be like a legend. Mm-hmm. He'll definitely be and it'll be hard to put, it'd be hard to argue where he ranks as one of the best quarterbacks if he does that. Exactly. So, but let's get into a little bit of the NBA. Real quick. Jerry Colangelo was hired as a special consultant for the Philadelphia 76ers. Basically, they want to right the ship because Philadelphia has been, for the past 3 years, have been getting close to top 3 picks. And at this point, they want to – it seems as though that it's not showing for wins. It seems as though that Philadelphia is still on a losing trend and is going – down the wrong way. So much so that if the NBA, Adam Silver was the one that gave the go-ahead, recommended for Jerry Colangelo be hired as a consultant. So they want to make sure that the Philadelphia is going to turn things around and not continue the same trend over and over again. So I just want to get your thoughts on this, because Philadelphia right now, the 76ers right now is just staying on that losing trend. Right now, they still haven't won their second game yet. And I believe we're 25% into the season. So while this is going on, I just want to get your take. It got to a point where they had to bring in people to help turn the team around, because from what people are saying, what media is saying, the owner is not doing anything right now to turn this team around. They're not bringing in quality players, and I'm just putting that in quotes. Some of the media people are saying quality players to help turn this team around. So I just want to get your takes on the Philadelphia 76ers as a whole.
Well, I mean, Joel Embiid, I guess he's going to be a bust. Because he can't seem to be healthy. Mm-hmm. The 76ers drafted Nerlens Noel, knowing he had a messed up knee, he couldn't play his first year. Mm-hmm. They traded away Michael Carter Williams. I'm not sure why they did that. They traded him to the Bucks. I'm not sure who they got back in return. They have young talent, but I don't know if it's coaching. I don't know if it's whatever. But they need to do something. I mean, they did beat LA, so but LA got their own issues.
Yes, they do.
You know, but it is horrible. I wish I knew. I don't know. Maybe they're not. Maybe, you know, they got the young kid now who's Jahlil Okafor, who's sitting there fighting everybody when he's out on the road. I guess I don't think he was happy with the fact that he got drafted to Philadelphia initially. So, you know, when you get drafted to the team and you're just pissed off about the fact that you got drafted to that team and you're playing like, I mean, I heard he's balling, so it's not like he's not trying, you know, but he's just pissed off like, I don't want to be here, you know. He's joking. And then bigger than all that, they draft these dudes and they keep drafting 4s and 5s. I'm like, dude, you need 1s and 2s and 3s. Why you keep drafting big men? And that's another reason why they suck. I mean, if you're gonna sit there and consistently lose, at least one draft, you get your center. Next time you get your point guard. Here you get your small forward. Build the team young, and then put the pieces around it. But don't keep drafting Nerlens Noel, whatever his name is, Nerlens Noel, Jahlil Okafor, Joel Embiid. They all play the same damn position. So of course you're not gonna win if everybody's playing the same position. That's just pure ridiculousness.
Basically, you took pretty much everything I was going to say in my rant about this. In all seriousness, though, 76ers fans have a right to be disappointed. When you have an owner that's basically just giving up, trading people, like you said, trading in Michael Carter Williams. Don't get me wrong. Like, Michael Carter Williams wasn't like the best thing since sliced bread. He was a pretty good player for you guys. He was averaging closely about 19 points a game. And a couple of assists per game. He was giving you close to triple doubles every now and then. So to trade him for next to nothing, I think that was really, and I'm not saying next to nothing because they did get players back, but the thing about it is that it wasn't enough quality players to keep them going. It's amazing that and someone said this earlier, I forgot what sports radio I was listening to, but they were saying that majority of the players that's on the 76ers, majority of them came in their draft league as undrafted. So they didn't even get drafted. They was brought in by the D League or they didn't even get drafted, or however they was brought in. But they play a significant amount of minutes for the Sixers team. So when you have people that weren't drafted in the Sixers team, you're not going to produce quality wins. And it's amazing because when I heard about the ownership and how he's making a profit off of people by letting go high quality players, like letting go of Michael Carter Williams. His salary wasn't that high for you to come back with second round picks or second rounders or people that you're not going to, low salary players. I mean, the salary at this point for the 76ers has to be so low, where it's so low right now that I'm pretty sure that the owner, like I said before, is making a significant profit and don't care about the actual quality of the 76ers. So when fans get to the point where they understand that the owner is not going to work towards building a quality team, they're going to stop coming. Then that's when you're going to actually lose money, and the NBA is not going to be too happy about it, because owners is going to be like, why would we play the 76ers when none of their fans show up? They got, their attendance is very poor. We're not getting money off of this. So why should we, we got to do something about this. So I think this is why the NBA was like, well, we got to get it where they're at a point where they're still drawing in fans, because we need fans, because eventually the NBA is all about making money. And if they see that they're losing money from the 76ers organization, they're going to want to do something about it, and which they did in bringing Jerry Colangelo. Now, I'm very interested to see how he's going to turn this around and how long it's going to take before he does turn it around. But Jerry Colangelo is a mastermind when it comes to salaries and getting the right people in place to bring things back up. So I'm more interested to see how he does it. To be honest, I was kind of upset that the Nets didn't look in bringing in Colangelo, because they need that just as well as anybody else does. But I could understand this. I could understand that. I won't get into my rant about the Nets right now. But in with the 76ers, I really believe that Colangelo will turn things around. From what I'm gathering, they're good with the coach. The coach is on good terms with him. So I don't see nothing going wrong with, as far as the coaches on the hot seat or anything like that. I don't see that happening. There may be changes in the front office, maybe a couple of trades, and get rid of a couple of people to bring in quality people. I see that happening in the future, probably before the trade deadline. But it's just interesting to see where the 76ers are, because I know people are tired of seeing them up at the draft lottery, getting the top 3 picks and not utilizing those top 3 picks to get something in return, or at least to be improving. It's like they got the top 3 picks and they're still at the same pace of losing. It's not even like they're going forward. It's like they're going backwards, because last season, I believe they won like close to 15 games. And it looks like this season, they might be the worst. They might have the worst season in NBA history. So, and you can't have that with 3 after you drafted top 2? 2 years in a row, you drafted the number 1 pick, or the top 2 or 3 picks. No, 3 years in a row, you drafted a top 3 pick, and you don't get nothing in return. You can't be going backwards with those top 3 picks. No NBA team has done that. So hopefully Colangelo can just turn it around for them.
Well, they need something, because at the pace they're going right now, not very good.
No, definitely not very good. And you brought up a very interesting point about them drafting centers who play the same position and not going after point guards. But here's the thing: they did go after a point guard, and they had a point guard in Michael Carter Williams,
right,
and then they traded him. They let him go. So, like I said, it's. I'm still puzzled about that now that you brought that up, because I really didn't see no reason they could have built off of him and Joel Embiid. I mean, Okafor and Noel. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know what they're going to do with Embiid. I'm pretty sure they're going to get rid of him because, like you said, he's probably like I don't want to put him in the same comparison, but it looks like he's another Greg Oden at this point.
Wow, man, look, if Philly was smart, I would put a package together and probably ship out Nerlens Noel and somebody else and get a young point guard and build something with Okafor and a point guard. And then you get yourself a dynamic shooter. You find somebody overseas, you find somebody like Kristaps Porzingis. I don't know where Phil Jackson, what stone that fool went and found that joker from overseas. Everybody was sitting there killing this joker, killing Phil when he drafted him number 4. Like, who is this cat? Never heard of him. Now look at him. Everybody thinking that Phil is the mastermind now.
Yo, mad people are eating mad crow up here. That's all I can say. Mad people is eating mad crow, a lot of crow up here about Kristaps Porzingis. I am salty because he did a number against my team, but all in all, he's definitely panned out to be better. And what makes it crazy because regardless of what everybody else what people don't realize is that he's now establishing himself to be the future of the Knicks.
Yep.
And I think, like you said, Phil Jackson, and everybody was saying, Moutier and, get a point guard or something like that. And Moutier is not, I'm not hearing anything about Moutier at all. Not hearing anything about D'Angelo Russell, who now, from what I've been told, has been riding the bench with the Lakers. So it looks like I would not be surprised. It'd be very interesting to see if he actually wins the Rookie of the Year award by the end of the season. I know he's going to battle it out with Karl Anthony Towns, but it looks like it's going to be a race between those two.
Shoot, if I was Philly right now, I would send somebody and pick up D'Angelo Russell from the Lakers, put him on Philly. Put him with Jahlil Okafor and say, look, I understand we're going to be crap right now. You two are going to be the building blocks of this franchise. And we're going to build something special with them two and go from there.
Won't matter because at the end of the day, Philly is still going to get one of those top 3 picks and they're going to draft a point guard.
No.
Colangelo is not going to Colangelo is not. If he stays a consultant with the 76ers, I'm going to tell you right now, he's going to make changes to turn it around. And it's rare that I give there's only maybe 3 or 4 people that I could say could turn things around in an instance. That's the general manager for the Toronto Raptors. I forgot his name. Jerry West. Colangelo definitely, and Popovich. Coach Pop. That's it. Those are the only ones that if I knew that they was on my team, I would have no problem with whatever it is they do because I know they would turn it around.
Somebody got to have faith. And Colangelo got to work his magic because right now things ain't looking too good.
Yeah, it's not looking too good, but I have faith in Colangelo. I'll put it like this. If I was a Philly fan, hiring Colangelo would be the happiest day because I know it's going to turn things around. And he's going to start making moves, big moves. He's going to make a move where he's going to get somebody in return where it's going to be like, I didn't see it coming.
Right.
Mark my words. He's going to be like, I did not see that coming. Now they're going to turn things around. And to be honest, it's much needed in the Atlantic Division.
You're going to find somebody, you're going to find a disgruntled player that's going to want to sit there and say, you know what, I'm willing to take a chance.
Yep.
And come here.
And he's going to find somebody in the D League first that he knows is going to take it to the next level, bring them in, and you're not even going to heard of this person, like in the D League. He's going to bring somebody up. He's going to be like, yo, this is the person that I'm going to bring him up. And then next, he's going to take off. And then next, Philly's going to be like starting to improve better, more and more. So it'll happen somewhere down the road.
You just gotta ride it. Gotta ride it out. Be patient.
Yeah, definitely gotta ride it out and be patient. Yeah, Sixers fans, that's my word to you. Well, that's Adrian's word to you. Be patient, because it's about to turn around for you guys. Mark my words. Mark my words. But that's all I have in regards to sports. What about you?
Yeah, man. It's always it's that beautiful soap opera that all us men out here thrive for every day. Is what's going on in the sports world, So
yeah,
we'll be keeping our ears close to the news to see what's going on. So we have a jam-packed show for next week.
Definitely, and of course, Earl Ross will definitely be back. Hopefully, we'll be back to join us on the panel next week. But I'd like to thank everybody for checking us out on Guys Talking Sports. Hey, Ace, man, tell them where they can find you at.
You can find me at CatDaddy1963 on Twitter. I don't do all the other type of stuff, but you can definitely hit me on Twitter and tell me what you guys think. All
right. And of course, you can reach me at I am Al Qualls. You can hit me up on Twitter. Also hit me up on Instagram as well. Facebook, that's all I can say about that. Also hit me up. You can also hit me up on Google Plus too. Every now and then I check on Google Plus. But for those that like this, please subscribe. Leave feedback, comments. Let us know what it is that you like or don't like. We take criticism very well here. We don't throw things around. We don't slam stuff. We don't throw lamps and stuff. We don't have no fits or go crazy. But please subscribe and comment whenever you can. Of course, I'd like to thank Adrian Catwell again for joining me. This is Guys Talking Sports. Until the next time, y'all take care, man.
Have a good night.